This has to be a Tesla record. After placing an order for a Model S Plaid, it is now here within 2 weeks. Yes, that's right, only 2 weeks. So in this video, let me give you a first look at this brand new 2021 Tesla Model S Plaid, the world's fastest car. All right, guys, here's a first look. Let's start out with the outside. You know, on paper, this new Model S looks very similar to the old one, but there are unique and distinct differences. And in person, wow, there is definitely a presence. This Model S is much wider and lower than you expect. And overall, this is a big car. This is not, I would say, a mid-sized car. This is a full-size car, and there's definitely a real presence to it. Well, starting from the front end, very recognizable, right? There's basically no middle grill opening like most cars because you don't need it. However, take a look at the bottom bumper. There's an integrated lip spoiler that is completely new, and that flows into the side, and it does add a little bit to this front end. It does make it look a little bit different. Now, if that was carbon fiber, that would look a whole lot better, but still, I'm not gonna complain about that. That looks phenomenal. Something else I wasn't pleased with, but I found out this is how it is, and that's the front license plate holder. This comes from a factory like that, and I was wondering why, because on my Model Y, this was optional, but the S, this is, you have to get it. This is installed from the factory, and that's because I was explained that the hood goes all the way to the front, and basically you need to have like a little bit of space from the front end to the hood for some reason. I don't know, that's what I was explained. I don't know if that's actually true, but the good thing about that license plate holder is that it is body color. So it's not that you know, matte black. Actually blends in pretty well. So even though I was a little disappointed by that, I guess that's a good compromise, at least. All right, so now moving to the side, you could see that everything is blackened out. So the chrome from before is gone. The window trim, the door handles, they're all like this shiny black, and it definitely, in my opinion, looks better this way. This beautiful blue, I'm glad I chose blue. And then you can see the black surrounds, door handles, a camera over here, right? Everything is really stunning. Let me stand further away so you guys could see. I mean, this is a beautiful sedan. It has a really nice stance, although you can change that. It does come with air suspension and adaptive suspension, so you can change ride height. And you could set it so that if you're parked somewhere, it can automatically raise, makes it a little bit easier to get in and out of the car. Now, let's take a look. I got the optional 21-inch wheels. These are also new. You can see the brake caliper in the back. It's massive. This is also an improvement. The rotors, the calipers, I believe have been upgraded. They're beefier, which they need to be since this is the world's fastest accelerating car. Unfortunately, though, it's not red. I would have preferred if that was red. I don't even know if that's an option. I didn't see it on a configuration page, unfortunately, but it is what it is. But look at this nice, you know, gray smoked wheels. I really like that. These tires supposedly could go up to 200 miles per hour. I don't think I'll ever test that in my lifetime, but it's good to know that I could do it if I wanted to. But I heard that you can't actually do it yet. There needs to be like a software update before you can. But again, I don't plan on doing that anytime soon or ever. All right, now moving to the back. Bottom here is also different. You can see this is painted now. It's not that matte black, and it's just good little lip right here. It's just a little subtle. And something else that surprised is the badge says Plaid. I thought because the tester cars and the ones that were, you know, shown at the event had this Plaid badge over here, which looked very ugly to me, but I'm glad that it just says Plaid. And of course, this bar right here that stretches is in black. Look at the wide shoulder right here. I mean, this sticks out quite a bit. And even then, the fender sticks out a little more in the back and also in the front. Take a look at that. I mean, it's definitely wider than before. So yeah, so that's the outside. You know, there's a really, really good presence to this car. I mean, this is impressive. Okay, so the door handles do pop open, right? Simply pull. That's what the inside looks like. Got some nice sport pedals underneath there. Really nice. These are the new seats. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen a million videos already about the Plaid, but I'm going to show you anyways. But these seats now are ventilated, heated and ventilated. Of course, the new yoke steering wheel. As for this yoke steering wheel, which is very controversial, I actually thought there was no need for Tesla to reinvent the wheel, right? I guess the whole point of this is to get you more used to, you know, the full FSD that is coming out pretty soon. And also it gives you better visibility with your digital gauge cluster and just with the road, right? I get it, but still it takes getting used to, especially tight spaces. If you're trying to get in and out of a parking lot, even your driveway, it does take getting used to. At low speeds, you know, when you need to make a lot of turns, yeah, I'm like grabbing, I'm like, oh no, there's nothing to grab, and I need to replace my hands, right? So it does take getting used to. Now, if you're up to speed, it's not so bad, but when you're just going around town, I don't know if I really enjoy this or just a regular steering wheel. Now, in terms of turn signals, pretty easy. They're just over here. You just tap it. This is actually pretty natural. So without the stock, this is actually pretty natural. I like that. Everything else here is also capacitive touch. Your voice control here, and then your wipers, your horn. If you want to do, you know, autopilot or FSD, right, you would click this twice. So again, there's no stock like in the Model Y or S, so you would double click this or single click, depends on how you set it up. And this is again for volume, so that's pretty normal. The steering wheel itself, something that you can't see is how wide it is. It is really, really wide. So when you grip it, it does feel very good, feels very sporty, feels very different than all the other steering wheels. Now, in terms of controls, it's pretty standard, almost the same. There's a little bit more features, but you can see there's some quick controls for your opening your charge port, your trunk, glove box, so forth, right? Your wipers, windows, mirror, steering, those are pretty standard. Now, something that's different is if you go in suspension, this Model S Plaid does have adaptive and air suspension, and you can set it. Comfort, Auto, Sport, Advanced. I have it in Comfort, and it's very comfortable. You could set your ride height. You could also say, hey, auto raise at this location, which makes it easier to get in and out of. Default ride height to low if you want to always have the car in a low ride height, so it looks a little bit cooler, and also it does help with aerodynamics and stuff like that. So you could do that, or you could just let it do its thing. Like, for example, if you do very high, it will only stay there until the car reaches 15 miles per hour, and then it'll go down, right? And the same thing with high, it will only do that, or stay at that height, I should say, until 35 miles per hour, and then it'll just go in standard. So it'll do its own thing. Everything else in here is pretty standard. Autopilot, this is very similar. I hear there's a new beta FSD that's coming out shortly, so hopefully that does improve FSD and make this more like auto driving. Okay, 2 wireless chargers here, and also in the back. This console design is interesting. So if you open this up, you have a little space for things, your phone or whatever, but then you could also open this up for more space, and then you can push this back. Yeah, so it's like a 3-step process. Very interesting. Very interesting how that works. But I think it's a lot better than the old one. So, so there's that. And then, what is it? More, yeah, just more room in there. And then on top, wow, this panoramic glass is enormous. It's bigger than even the Model Ys. I mean, it is very, very big, especially if you sit in the back. It's hard to see, you know, hard to really realize how big it is through video. But if you sit in the back, you'll realize it is massive, massive. All right, so get out of the car. Just press the button. A little bit different. This is just a touch button. It's not like the one on the Model Y where the button actually presses in. This is just like a capacitive touch. You do that and that's it. So it's a little bit different. To be honest, the doors actually feel a little bit too light. I know, of course, Tesla has been trying to reduce the weight, but the door almost feels, I hate to say it, almost like cheap in a way because of how light it feels. But it does open and close very easily. Back here, you see the new screen over here. The kids were messing with Netflix, YouTube, and so forth. Your temperature control, if you want to turn it on like that, and you can adjust with your fingers. Very nice. Music, and then also heated seats. It's a nice little menu. Haven't tried, you know, watching anything here. I don't know if you'll get a neck ache looking down like that, maybe, but it's a very bright and clear screen, so that's pretty nice. I don't know if you could play any games. I don't see any games here. So maybe you can't play games. That would be disappointing. I'll have to mess around with that later. But overall space is okay. It could be better. So you can see leg room about 2-3 inches. Headroom, there's no problems at all because the big glass, I mean, it is just enormous. But leg room could be better. So I'm 5'10" and I have about 2-3 inches. A little narrow too, especially if you have this armrest out. It does cut into, you know, your room. You could have 3 adults back here, but it's gonna be really tight. And over here you have 2 more wireless chargers. Over here, nice cup holders. Yeah. And then of course you can, there's a secret button over here. You see that. If you do fold it up, to fold it down, you have to find that secret button. All right, lastly, let's go in the back. I forgot to show you the carbon fiber spoiler back here. Looks pretty nice. I wish there was more carbon fiber, to be honest. All right. Back trunk, pretty spacious. Pretty spacious. There's a cover here, privacy cover. Obviously, you could lift that up. There's a gigantic trunk underneath. Yeah, it's pretty big. Groceries, no problem. So you have that. You have another one over here. Yes. And that's pretty much it. You have some seat controls over here. It's a big trunk. This is as big as a hatchback or a compact SUV. I mean, this is really, really big. And that's why I hear that the Model S is bringing back 7-seaters so that there'll be a 3rd row. I don't know when, but a little cubby hole over there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this first look of this brand new 2021 Tesla Model S Plaid. I just got this car just a few hours ago, so I'm gonna have to play around with it some more and drive it some more, and then I'm gonna do a follow-up video, probably a driving impression video. I'll tell you, the speed, the acceleration is so brutal, and I'm gonna capture myself accelerating one of these days and just give you my overall thoughts about how it drives and everything else about this car. So stay tuned. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out. All right, until next time, guys, take care. Bye-bye.